Good afternoon. Welcome to Muskegon Rotary. I'm Dave Alexander. I'm president. This year, honored and pleased to be in this position. And walk-up music today was Wang Dang Doodle. Very good. This is maybe the second time I've used it. We did it back when we had another blues artist in town, but this is, very good, Demetria Taylor. On her 2011 album, Bad Girl. She is from Chicago. This was written by William Dixon in 1960 to celebrate an after-hours party. It became a Chicago blues standard, and Demetria Taylor will be in Muskegon Saturday, April 18th, 6 o'clock at Fricano Place Event Center, presented by the Killer Blues Headstone Project of Whitehall. Killer Blues presented Detroit's Loretta Davis last fall, something that we as the Rotary supported as a sponsor. Demetria Taylor tickets went on sale this week. I've got a table for 8. We'll see you there. Our program this week will be Transportation Operations in Muskegon County. We'll begin with Pledge of Allegiance. Bill Erickson will provide the reflection. At the end of the meeting, we'll do the 4-way test. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bill?
So you heard Dave? He's got a table for 8 and we're all invited? Yeah. I heard that. One thing I love about Rotary is our ability to laugh. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a Thursday that I didn't get a good chuckle out of something. This is an excerpt from one of Mark Twain's writings on laughter. I will read this in the first person. I have always believed that the human race is a fairly successful invention, mostly because we are the only creatures with the capacity to laugh at ourselves. We live in a world that is often uncertain, and truth, as I have found, is frequently stranger than fiction. Fiction, you see, is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't. But in the midst of that uncertainty, we have one truly effective weapon, and that is laughter. Against the assault of laughter, nothing can stand. The minute it crops up, all of our hardnesses yield, all our irritations flit away, and a sunny spirit takes their place. It is the one thing we all have in common, regardless where we come from or what we believe. We all have moons. We all are moons. Every one of us has a dark side, which we never show to anybody. We all have our foibles, our little vanities, our quiet fears. But there is a great deal of help and safety in acknowledging that we are all in the same boat. And though that boat may be somewhat leaky, we might as well keep each other's spirits up. I have found that the best way to cheer yourself is to try to cheer someone else up. It is a patent right of humanity to look out for one another. So, let us be thankful for the fools. But for them, the rest of us could not succeed. And let us remember that while the world may be unpredictable, our kindness to one another need not be. After all, we are all just part of the same curious, wonderful human race. And we're much better off when we're laughing together than when we're worrying apart. So a guy walks into a bar, and a second guy walks into the same bar. You think the second guy would have ducked?
Thank you, Bill. Truly, thank you. Please take your seats. We'll continue with lunch, networking, and mingling. We'll be back shortly. fine Rotarians. GMed President and CEO Trevor Friedeberg and Grant and Program Manager Kathy Brubaker-Clark are also proud Rotarians. The Economic Development Program for 2025 measured $75 million in capital investments in our county, retaining 331 jobs and creating 160 new jobs. GE Aerospace expansions in both Norton Shores and the city of Muskegon were key community wins. Trevor reports that GMed is working on 12 active projects representing more than 500 new jobs and $500 million in capital investment. He said he is working on deals with a high level of confidence. We will have today's program introduced by Melissa, I believe, and I'll have her come up and get us started.
Thank you. I am really excited to introduce our two guest speakers to you today. First is Allison Revel, and she serves as the Muskegon SHIP Project Manager for Access Health, bringing nearly 20 years of health-related nonprofit experience to Muskegon County. In addition to leading SHIP initiatives focused on economic mobility and health access, she has supported local implementation of the Community Information Exchange and contributes to the Livability Lab, an annual collaborative community problem-solving effort. Her work centers on building partnerships that connect health, workforce, and community well-being. Allison is a proud Michigan State University graduate and a Mona Shore Sailors mom of 2 teenage boys. Go moms of nothing but boys. Bob Lukens has been involved in destination marketing and management for over 27 years, first as public relations manager for the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau, and currently as director of Visit Muskegon, the countywide Convention and Visitors Bureau for Muskegon County. He holds a BA from Western Illinois University and was editor of a weekly newspaper in Chicago for 8 years before transitioning into the tourism industry. Bob oversees Visit Muskegon, the Muskegon County Airport, the Muskegon Area Transit System, the Muskegon County Parks Department, and the county's cruise ship ship dock and festival grounds at Heritage Landing. He is a board member and treasurer of the Michigan Association of Convention and Visitor Bureaus, the Muskegon Sports Council, and the Lakeshore Museum Center, and previously served on boards of West Michigan Tourist Association and Downtown Muskegon Now. Please help me welcome Allison and Bob.
Okay, I'm ready for my first slide. Thank you. Since 1999, Access Health has been empowering people and finding innovative ways to help people and our community thrive by working with partners in the Muskegon area to approach health improvement and change through the alignment of resources and collaboration. Again, thank you for having us here today. We really appreciate the opportunity to present. I do want to mention that our transportation team champion, Judy Kell, had wanted to be here, but some extenuating family circumstances made that not possible. So I'm very grateful to Bob for stepping up and volunteering to be a co-presenter. In addition to all of your roles at the county, Bob also is a key member of our transportation team, as well as a member of the SHIP think tank. So I know a few weeks ago, our Rotarian CEO, Jeff Fortenbacher, was here and presented on Access Health. I'm going to briefly review a few of those things, and one of those is our flagship program, the C3 Health Plan. This is a low-cost, comprehensive medical coverage plan that employers and individuals who may not generally be able to afford traditional health insurance can offer and can benefit from. It's aimed for people who do not make enough money to afford traditional health insurance, but who also make too much to receive public benefits like Medicaid. And one of the core pillars of our Access Health model is CHI, Continuous Health Improvement. And this is the understanding that comprehensive health is not just your blood pressure, your BMI, or your biometrics, but it is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. We address these 8 domains of health within our one-on-one health coaching model that is available to Access Health members as well as SHIP pilot program enrollees. These address things like environmental health. Do you have a safe home, a stable living environment? Occupational, are you satisfied with your job? Does it meet your needs financially? And a host of other social domains. Access Health, we take a similar approach with our community level work. We recognize that there are many factors that indicate the overall health of a community, things such as educational, occupational, and environmental. We work on these issues every day through our community programming for the betterment of Muskegon County and the people who live here. A few of those core programming include C3, which I talked about, Livability Lab, which I'll mention a little more in a minute, our Muskegon CIE, the Community Information Exchange, or Tandem, is an effort that was many years in the making and took a great deal of local collaboration. Muskegon is now a leader within the state of this emerging technology. It's a community-wide system for clinical, social care, and public health referrals to be made seamlessly across organizations. This provides the users one platform from which to make all of their referrals and see the status of those referrals in real time. It's a truly innovative technology that, once fully adopted, will transform the efficiency and the effectiveness of service delivery here in Muskegon County. So an example of that could be if a case manager from Mission from Area People needed to make 3 referrals. They needed to make a jobs referral to Goodwill, a food referral to Salvation Army, and a housing referral to True North. They could do that all across the CIE platform and then see how that referral was responded to, was it completed, and do the follow-up needed to close that, that circle. So the Muskegon SHIP, our Sustainable Health Investment Partnership. This is a cross-sector effort that brings together business, workforce, community, and clinical partners to tackle root causes that impact jobs and work-life, income, and health. By addressing these health and employment barriers simultaneously, Access Health fosters greater stability and enables individuals to achieve better health, sustained workforce participation, and long-term economic mobility. By embedding the health coaching model into this program, we help lower wage workers and job seekers to address barriers that often hinder sustained employment. The SHIP focuses on 3 foundational pillars that have been identified as primary barriers to employment: health coverage, childcare, and transportation. We're working to align these multi-share community-led resources. The C3, which is well-established, TriShare Childcare, which is emerging and growing, a program that was founded here in Muskegon, actually spurred through one of the livability labs and is now being adopted as a statewide model for cost-sharing childcare. And then transportation, which is evolving and currently is a significant challenge in Muskegon County and has limited resources. The Livability Lab is a community-driven event that is currently in its 6th year. It's an annual event since 2019, and it's Muskegon's version of a 100-day challenge to prioritize community conditions across Muskegon County. It begins with an annual survey that's conducted over several months and then culminates in the development of our annual Livability Lab data book, which goes in depth into things like economics in Muskegon County, education levels, crime, occupational levels, goes into great detail, and then also priorities are set from those results of those surveys. So each year of the lab, transportation has been identified as a priority that needs work within our county. Past teams have addressed such topics as a regional transportation authority, discussions of a transportation millage, and most recently, the engagement of businesses to support transportation services for their employees. Judy Kell has been the longtime champion for this team, and we are very proud of the wide range of engagement we have from the community stakeholders, which you can see listed here. So I'm going to hand it over to Bob now, and he's going to talk a little bit more about some of the specifics that our group has been working on. Thank you.
Thanks, Allison. Good afternoon, everyone, and fellow Rotarians. As you can see, and as you know, lack of transportation affects jobs and employee retention and productivity here in Muskegon County pretty substantially. So one of the statistics is that 8% of households in Muskegon County have no car. And those with only one car often face transportation challenges if the car gets in an accident, needs some repairs, some major repairs, or even if they need an oil change, they may have to take time off of work. If you only have one car, it makes that a bit difficult. Let me see if I got the right one here. Oh, there it is. Okay, the highest concentration of MATS ridership, and that's the Muskegon Area Transit System, is in what we call the urban core, and that's the cities of Muskegon, Muskegon Heights, Roosevelt Park, northern and eastern Norton Shores, and along the Apple Avenue corridor into Muskegon Township, and also the eastern industrial park area off of Sherman there. Those are where the main transportation needs are for our population here. Transportation is really a human resources issue. Workers without reliable transportation, are missing out on those options for jobs. Transportation is one of the biggest problems that people have in getting to their jobs and finding work. Shift workers are affected by this. They have a tough time getting to and from work because the shifts differ across businesses, and the transportation just isn't available at some of those times. Car ownership is really expensive, as we all know. Earlier this week, my battery died in my little Honda, and it cost $209 to get a new battery. I asked the guys at the shop, when did this happen? When did batteries become so expensive? And they said, oh, it's been like that for a couple of years now. But, a battery could, affect someone's life by limiting the money they have for feeding children, that sort of thing. So there is an issue there. And then childcare is also another hindrance. If you don't have proper transportation, it could be difficult for people to get their children to childcare or, pick children up, and that could affect their work. I'm a slide behind here. Okay, the next one is, there are gaps in our current public transit system. Service, we only have service in those communities I mentioned before. I'm on the wrong slide here, one moment. Oh yeah, here we go. Our fixed routes operate only between 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. and 5:50, approximately 6 p.m. The GO2 microtransit operates longer hours, but requires a smartphone and digital payment for the GO2 service. And oftentimes people may not have a smartphone or may not be very well versed in working apps, and that can affect how they can get that transportation. Limited funding prevents the expansion of MATS, and that's a really interesting thing, because if we did have additional funding for the MATS program, we'd be able to access additional federal funds, sometimes in the millions of dollars. And that would really help us expand the services, especially the hours of service and also the days of service. Right now, we have Go-To on Saturdays, but the fixed routes buses only run Monday through Friday. So if we were able to access that additional funding, we would be able to potentially extend those hours, do Saturdays and Sundays, and potentially do new routes too for the system. And you know, one of the biggest challenges, and I mentioned it earlier, is that the shift workers really have an issue getting to work without reliable transportation. Right now, we can run a short video.
Need a ride? Muskegon County has options for ride transportation solutions for both job seekers and employers. Connecting employees to reliable transportation helps business thrive, families succeed, and communities grow. Working as a community to find real solutions to transportation issues has been a focal point of Livability Lab. Some of the results will most likely amaze you. For business owners, it's lower turnover rates and training costs, larger and more diverse talent pools, reduced absenteeism and tardiness, and increased productivity and profits. Employee benefits include access to more job opportunities, a safe, dependable way to work. Employer-paid transportation benefits may be tax-free, and employee contributions can be made tax-free with payroll deduction.
Commute with Enterprise is a van pooling program that helps groups of coworkers share a ride to work. We provide a turnkey solution, meaning we provide the vehicle, all insurance needed, all maintenance, and the support so that companies can offer a more reliable, more efficient, and more sustainable commute option for their team. Through our partnership with the Michigan Department of Transportation, we operate the statewide van pool program and receive a per van pool subsidy to help reduce the cost of the program for employers and for participants. For employers, the program impact is significant. Van pooling reduces parking demand and directly contributes to sustainability goals by reducing carbon emissions as well as limiting the amount of solo occupancy vehicles on the road. People get to work on time more consistently, they're starting their day less stressed, which means they're more focused, more productive, and more ready to contribute. Adding Commute with Enterprise to your existing benefits package just shows your team that you truly care about their time, their well-being, and their overall experience at work and beyond. For employees, it really just simplifies their day and makes it a lot easier. They can save money on fuel and vehicle wear and tear, reduce stress, and enjoy a more relaxing commute. Commute with Enterprise is a smarter, greener, more cost-effective way to get people to work. We'd love to help you and your organization bring these benefits to support your employees through one of the most stressful parts of their day, the commute.
Wheels to Work is a transportation program designed to pick up employees at their home and bring them right to whatever location they need to work at for an employer. We work 24/7, so if people work second, third shift, that's not a problem, and we are on time. We measure on time every route, every day, every driver. For employers, the benefits are very many. We get employees there on time, so there's not a tardiness problem. People can get to their work location on time. Don't have as much absenteeism, significantly reduce that. And we found that participating in the Wheels to Work program produces significant improvement in retention and longevity of clients. Now, for the employees, people face a lot of transportation barriers today, and they can be great workers, but they just can't get to work. So it's kind of a win-win for the employee and the employer, because employers can open up an additional tranche of potential employees to hire that may be great employees, and employees who have an issue, a transportation barrier, whether it's long-term or short-term, they can get to work and be productive for themselves and improve their lot.
There are multiple options for both rideshare opportunities as well as funding to help your commute be easier. And if you're an employer, your talent pool to grow and be more sustainable. The goal of Livability Lab is to improve life in our community by listening to new ideas and working together on things that matter most to you. To learn more about rideshare opportunities in Muskegon, visit lakeshoreridelink.org/work.
So one of the things that we're doing with the Livability Lab transportation effort is to bring all of these different transportation options together to, allow people to access jobs and allow employers to be able to have a consistent workforce that is there on time and has reliable transportation. So there's an organization called the Michigan Transportation Coalition, I think it is, Connection. Michigan Transportation Connection that we're working with to bring all of these organizations and businesses together. And what they're focusing on is really looking at healthcare and work transportation for people in Muskegon County. The SHIP initiative really is supporting that pathway forward, and they're focusing on removing those barriers for people to transportation. Transportation is a primary priority for us here in Muskegon County because it's just so needed. So what we can do, I think, as a community and as Rotarians is just communicate to people the value of transportation and public transportation to be able to provide people with these opportunities for jobs and health care. So the call to action for local businesses, I explained that in that last slide, but what businesses can really do is explore employer-employee subsidized transportation, which was just on the video there, and pre-tax benefits are available to businesses that engage in that type of transit for their workers. We can participate in group transportation like the two examples that were in the video there. If you can gather together groups of employees into one van or one vehicle, it gets them to work on time, first of all, and it also reduces pollution and other things that affect our environment. Finally, if we advocate between local and regional transit between Muskegon County and Northern Ottawa County, making that connection, I think, would be very important for businesses and for people looking for jobs. And then connect and collaborate with SHIP. So Allison and I will be around afterwards if you'd like to talk on any of these items. And thank you for having us today.
My sister doesn't drive. I got her signed up for the Go Bus program a couple years ago, and it works fabulous. Just absolutely fabulous. Commendations for that. I'm wondering, though, about the bus system. I live downtown here, and I see the buses coming and going. I see them out and about. They never seem to have more than a couple people. I can't make the math work. How can such a big bus be efficient and economical?
I knew this question would come up.
From me?
Well, actually, when we look at the statistics for riders on the MAT system, especially the fixed route system, the bulk of the riders ride between 10 a.m. and about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So most of us are probably in the office at that time and we don't see it. When the buses start out from the Herman Ivory Center in downtown Muskegon, oftentimes, they will only have a couple people on. But as they go through their route, they're picking up people and getting them to where they need to be.
Hi. So as some people know, I have 5 kids myself, and I'm also on the board for Taking Back Muskegon, and we offer after-school programming and summer programming. And you mentioned it a little bit in here about the need for childcare transportation, that there seem to be resources growing for getting them to and from work. But are you guys continuing that conversation on how to get kids from school to programs like ours, where there's a lack of resources from school busing, all the way to just the parents being able to get them over and the safety concerns of those younger ones going or walking themselves?
Yes, we have been having discussions about childcare and getting children to after-school programs, and there are examples of that across the state. I don't think it's happening much here now, but we are talking more about that and seeing if there are some solutions for that.
Excuse me, two questions. One, you mentioned the gap in municipal funding that would enable us to access federal funding. How big is that gap and how do we fill it? And secondly, I'm wondering, you mentioned connecting with Northern Ottawa County. What about Kent? Is there a need for that as well? Thank you.
Let's see, the first part of that question is, there is a gap in local funding, and we realize, you know, as the county and as the public transit operator, that, you know, municipal budgets are under stress too. So I think it's a discussion that's been ongoing. We've been talking about the potential for a transit authority for a number of years now. And, you know, the municipalities and counties just weren't able to work that out at this time, but it's not dead. You know, we will be talking about that sometime in the future and, you know, trying to bridge that funding gap and access those federal dollars. And the second part, Andy, I'm sorry. Kent County, yes. I think that'd be more difficult to connect Muskegon County and Kent County, but if there is a connection, that would probably be in Allendale. We could make that connection with the rapid system. But right now, those discussions really aren't happening. It's more a Northern Ottawa County thing.
Hi, Cece Riley with Hackley Community Care, and we serve about 23,000 patients annually in Muskegon County, many of whom are probably that 8% who are living at home without a vehicle or access to a ride. And we know that people's health care is also a barrier to getting to work, and you mentioned that the statewide group is doing some work around healthcare transportation. Do you know of anything being done locally in Muskegon County to meet some of those needs?
Go ahead.
Well, actually, Cece, that's a great question, and I would actually refer back to the recent agreement that Hackley Community Care has with Pioneer Resources to provide transportation to your clients and receivers of medical services. I think more opportunities like that, more private partnerships like that, could be a good solution, even if it is very targeted and very specific to a certain clientele, that it does create progress. And I will say too, with that Michigan Transportation Connection Program that is still at its very early stages with MATS, that will bring together, their aim is to bring together all of the transportation providers in Muskegon County into a pooled system so that they can then be a singular resource for people who need transportation, a more smooth process, not dissimilar to how our community information exchange operates.
Last question.
Jason Kennedy, Fruitport. I think it's important to recognize that there are multiple school districts in this county, far-reaching, all corners of the county. We spend over $20 million on transportation collectively. We have a system in place. I'd encourage us to think creatively about how we might be able to access a system that's already in place in schools across the county. You talk about the need being between 10 and 3 o'clock. I have 45 bus drivers that sit idle between 10 and 2 or 3 o'clock because they work in the morning and drop kids off, or pick kids up, and they work in the afternoon and drop kids off. There could be, I think, a creative way in which we partner with the school system and the transportation system in place to figure out how to connect communities across the county.
That is a fabulous suggestion and not something that had occurred to me as of yet. So I appreciate that very much, because that's really what we're looking for, is these creative solutions. And we know people have ideas and we just need to hear them. So thank you.
I think there's one other thing to add to that is that's a different form of transportation, so we'd have to check on the rules and regulations from the FTA and MDOT about that, but it's a great idea.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Good ideas continually get generated at Muskegon Rotary Club. Speaker's honorarium this year will be a contribution from the Muskegon Rotary Club to cover supplies and materials used by our club members and youth from our Interact clubs on service trips they are taking to El Salvador and Honduras. Michael, the birthday slide. Gavin, Bob, Ron, Tim, and Stephanie. Do we have, there's that music. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. And remember, those with birthdays provide a $10 birthday gift to us if you may or would wish to. And I hope you would wish to because it goes to Caring Connection. And we have envelopes up here. There are QR codes. There's also in the rim each week. So come and help us out. And that now being led by Greg Borgman. How can I forget Greg Borgman? But I just did. Rotary in Action this week is a student exchange.
My guest today is Neve McGinn.
Hello.
Well, where do you go to school?
I go to Muskegon High School.
And you said you're a sophomore. What, have you decided? I mean, I know you're kind of midway between, but and maybe I know the answer to this question based on your answer. But have you decided about what's next for you? What are you hoping to do next?
I plan on going into the culinary field, so I'm planning on going to culinary school after high school.
Hopefully, a lot of students are going to be watching this from all the different schools. Talk to us a little bit about why they should really consider doing something like this.
If you've ever wanted to travel, this is a good way to do it and represent who you are. And a lot of people find themselves on Youth Exchange since they're getting put in a completely different situation and they have to depend on themselves and, like, obviously the people around them, but not everyone's going to be available. So I'm really hoping to find myself while I'm abroad. I feel like being able to make friends and have my life be altered by this big decision is really exciting for me. I know that there's been people whose entire careers have been just based off the fact that they went on Rotary Youth Exchange. An example that was given to me by Lindsay and Kristen was there was the student who studied abroad, and then she learned that she has this thing for, like, picking up languages like that. So she started becoming, like, I know the word. She became a translator. So, and that became, like, her entire life, and that was really amazing for her.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. Good luck. I certainly look forward to when you come back and report on your experience to hear about all the wonderful things that you had a chance to really get your sink your teeth into.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Dom, where is she going? Denmark. Oh, one of my favorite European countries, by far. Okay, we are now having 2 inductions this week. Gavin and Michael Poulin, if you could come forward, and Jesse Wild and Don Kalis, if you could come forward. Don, we'll let you go first, since you're up here. Podium, put Jesse right next to you.
Good afternoon. Jesse Wild is a proud Oak Ridge High School and Muskegon Community College graduate who wasn't born here, but will tell you without hesitation that Muskegon is home. It's where she raised her 5 children, built her career, and planted roots that run deep in this community. She's known for rolling up her sleeves and getting to work. She believes in showing up, whether that's for a nonprofit board meeting, a community cleanup, a fundraiser, or a late-night marketing deadline. She serves on boards like Taking Back Muskegon, helping at-risk youth in high-risk areas of our community, and has been deeply involved in supporting veterans through the WMK9 Foundation and other local resource groups. Supporting those who have served our community is something she carries close to her heart. Many of you have likely seen her on stage somewhere. Jessie has emceed pretty much everything, from parties in the park to formal galas and conferences, using her voice to celebrate local organizations and rally support for meaningful work. She has a gift for connecting people and for helping them see what's possible. Professionally, she's helped Kindred Marketing, working with businesses and nonprofits to clarify their messages and expand their impact. While she's still part of our team, she has stepped into the Chief Marketing Officer role at Harbor Light Credit Union, so you'll certainly continue seeing her active throughout our community. At home, her family motto is simple: do better. Love that. She challenges her children to walk into any room, school, work, or relationships, and ask how they can use the gifts God gave them to leave it better than they found it. She teaches them that honesty and integrity are the two things you can't buy back once they're gone. Jessie leads with grit, faith, and heart. She loves this community fiercely and believes that when we each do a little better, Muskegon becomes something truly special. I give you Jessie Wild.
Mike and Gavin?
Good afternoon, everybody. It's my honor to help celebrate Gavin's birthday today on this induction. Gavin's leadership journey began in high school when a Rotary exchange trip to El Salvador profoundly shaped his worldview and commitment to serving others. That experience inspired him to pursue a path of service through the United States Military Academy at West Point. He graduated in 2021 with a bachelor's in law with a nuclear engineering tract, commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Military Police Corps. After completing the Military Police Basic Officer Leadership course, Gavin was stationed in South Korea, just 13 miles from the DMZ, leading soldiers in a forward operating environment. During his time in South Korea, Gavin was nominated for and awarded the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, as well as the Gold Presidential Volunteer Service Award. During a 3-month period, Gavin had volunteered over 400 hours of his personal time with the American Red Cross, the Army Community Service Center, the United States Organization, and the Impact Zone. As a result, Gavin was the recipient of 4 separate awards at the 2022 Volunteer Recognition Ceremony, where he also received the Camp Casey Military Active Duty Volunteer of the Year Award for the Pacific Theater. He later returned to West Point to serve as the officer in charge of the West Point Honor Guard, where he led military funeral honors missions with precision and reverence, overseeing 222 funerals during his tenure. To put that in perspective, that's over a period of 156 weeks. During that time, he was ultimately promoted to captain, the rank that he holds today. Amid his military service, Gavin and his wife Summer welcomed their daughter Evelyn, who is now 4 months old. Gavin's currently on ETS leave, that's expiration term of service leave through May, and is working at Sanborn's Jewelers here in Muskegon. While doing this, he's also building his startup software company, Eternum, a performance and management platform designed to optimize operations and elevate employee performance within a jewelry industry to help other independent stores grow. I give you Gavin Poulin. Thank you.
Gavin here and Jessie over. There we go. Thank you, sponsors. Fellow Rotarians and guests, it's a great privilege today to formally welcome 2 new members of Muskegon Rotary Club. Membership in Rotary is not merely joining a club, but becoming part of a global family dedicated to making positive impact locally and internationally. Rotary International is a family of more than 1.2 million Rotarians in more than 45,000 clubs over more than 200 countries and territories. Jessie, Gavin, welcome to the Muskegon Rotary Club. You are invited to membership because you embody the spirit of service and high ethical standards Rotary upholds. Your sponsors recognized your potential and introduced you to this organization, which is committed to fostering the ideal of service above self. As a member, you will represent Rotary in our community. Membership involves duties and obligations, including regular attendance, contributions to service and fundraising activities. You will need to join a committee, become involved in the work of this club and of Rotary International. We promote peace, fight disease, provide clean water, support education, embrace mothers and children, grow local economies, and protect the environment. Locally, we have a long tradition of developing youth leadership among other avenues of community service. Join us in our work in the joy of fellowship. Do you agree to the obligations of Rotary membership? I formally induct you into the Muskegon Rotary Club. I'm providing you with a Rotary pin. Wear it with pride. Also, here is a Rotary four-way test and the objects of Rotary. We don't do the pin thing anymore. I ask you to take the gift of Rotary and to share it with others. Specifically, invite someone of your commitment to community and ethical standards to join Muskegon Rotary in the next 6 months. Will you accept this assignment? Thank you. At the end of the meeting, please be in the lobby with your sponsor to allow our members to welcome you to the club. With that, I ask members and guests of the Muskegon Rotary Club to rise and welcome the newest Rotarians in the world, Jesse Wild and Gavin Poland. Woo! Welcome, sir. Good to see you. Thank you. Those having announcements that are either Rotary information or Rotary events, please come forward to my right. You'll have 2 minutes. Rotary Rewind is scheduled to have its meeting tonight, 5:15, at the Core Plaza's vault. I believe we're back at that location. I have a few save the date reminders. Some will be talked about here, but Lakeshore Literacy event of the Grand Haven, Spring Lake, and Muskegon Rotary Clubs will be on March 27th. Pours for the community events begin April 15th. The Rotary-sponsored food truck is on April 22nd, and the club participation in the district visioning will be on May 2nd, a Saturday, hopefully right here. So, Melissa.
Jesse and Gavin, your induction was very timely because you are now eligible to attend the next new member Rotary Social, which is going to be March 20th at 4 p.m. at the Hackley and Hume Historic Site. Since it's right around St. Patrick's Day, we thought it would be fun to mingle and do light hors d'oeuvres and refreshments in the barn, and then take a tour with our Historic Sites Director through Thomas Hume's house, talking about his connections to his Irish heritage. So you, new members, sponsors, navigators, shoot me an email or give me a call to sign up for this one, and we are looking forward to seeing everybody on March 20th. There is a flyer on your table.
Jenny Sprague here on behalf of Meredith Smiley, who couldn't be here. I'm doing old work here. Brave Rotarians, we need 17 more people to step up and be brave. There is a very ambitious goal this year. We want to have 2 rounds of 32 women's and men's NCAA basketball championships series. The cost to participate is $100. You had an email from Kim Boersma yesterday on behalf of Meredith. It has a QR code that you can use. Otherwise, you can write a check. Cash always works. $100. And the prize for our winners is a Paul Harris Fellowship. You can, for yourself, or you can give it away. The deadline to have everybody signed up and paid is March 12th. Selection Sunday, the Ides of March. What could go wrong? March 15th, so be brave, step up.
Claire Root Benson here on behalf of your Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. We want to invite all of our Rotarians to 3 upcoming community events centering the LGBTQ+ community and more. All 3 of these events will be presented at the Stage at the Corner. First up, March 9th, LGBTQ+ stories, joy, and challenge in faith communities. There are some quarter pagers on your tables about this event. It's a panel discussion with 5 local members of the LGBTQ+ community, moderated by Susan Harrison-Wolfus, presented by a group of 11 affirming places of worship with the goal of providing an opportunity for curious and open-minded people to hear firsthand about their neighbors' experiences in faith communities. It's a free event. Registration is required. There's more information and the link in your rim. Second, March 20th, 21st, and then the next weekend, 27th and 28th, is a play called Play It Straight. It's presented by the Actors Workshop of West Michigan, which is led and directed by Muskegon Rotarian Adam Bell, with a local cast of excellent actors. Play It Straight, I read the script recently. It is phenomenal, and this is only the second production of this show. It's a recent work, and the playwright's going to be in town working with these folks, so it's a pretty cool opportunity, but it unfolds over the course of a school day in a district where school staff are obligated by policy to out their students or tell families if a student shares an identity other than straight or cisgendered at school. So it's an intense story, but it's very human, and we'd like to invite everyone to come. The first night, March 20th, proceeds will be going to benefit Muskegon Pride as a fundraiser as well, and there's a Facebook event link in your rim. Finally, on April 13th, Maddle has an event coming up with Curtis Chin, author of Everything I Learned in a Chinese Restaurant. Chin's memoir traces his experiences growing up Chinese American in Detroit, balancing humor, heart, and the lively world of Chung's Cantonese cuisine, his family's restaurant that fed people from all walks of life in 1980s Detroit. His story also captures the complexities of coming out as a gay Asian American, his years at the University of Michigan, and his later work, including co-founding the Asian Writers Workshop in New York City, and subsequent writing career. This is presented by Muskegon Area District Library, Maddle, in cooperation with Muskegon Pride and Muskegon Community College. There's an event link in your rim, and additionally, Rotary will be checking out 20 copies of the book to members at next week's meeting, and we'll have our own book discussion on April 2nd.
Good afternoon, Jim Fisher on behalf of your Muskegon Rotary Literacy Committee. You've heard about this before, and on your tables are these flyers. I urge you all to look at the QR code and register for the Rotary Lakeshore Literacy Summit 3 weeks from tomorrow, Friday, March 27th from 8:30 until noon. It is a collaboration of Rotary Clubs of Grand Haven, Muskegon, and Spring Lake. Our own President Dave has been a leader in stimulating this particular event to happen. Literacy has been at the top of mind. In the most recent State of the State address, you heard Governor Whitmer talk about it as a priority. I think it's a bipartisan effort at the state level to really focus on literacy. We know that at the early childhood end, or the early grades, about 34% of our kids in Muskegon County are reading at grade level in 4th grade, which is to say that about 2/3 of our kids are not, and it's a similar piece across the state. In addition, we heard about workforce barriers today with the transportation piece. An additional barrier is literacy. About 20% of our adults in Muskegon County have literacy skills at or below level 1, the lowest level. They can understand very short, simple sentences like determining from a job listing if the work is during day or night or locating a phone number assigned. Just many of the reasons for us to do our part in Muskegon County, and just a reminder to all of us, it is also a major priority, Rotary International. I hope many of you will consider, if you haven't already signed up, signing up. Thank you.
All right, Dimitri Poland here, and I'm representing the JCI Muskegon Board. Just want to talk about quickly the upcoming St. Patrick's Day Parade. We had Dave come to a board meeting at JCI General Membership and talk a little bit about it. So we're looking to have some Rotary representation. So 13th Annual Muskegon St. Patrick's Day Parade will be on Saturday, March 14th at 11 a.m. On Western Avenue. We'll be celebrating Irish heritage, community spirit, and festive fun. This year we are doing a Remembrance Memorial Parade for Kevin Donovan because he had a major impact within Muskegon and the Irish community. He is actually one of the original committee members when this parade first started, and his wife, Sue Donovan, will be the Grand Marshal this year along with their family. So how do you participate? Share our Facebook event, register through the link, which will expire on Wednesday at noon of March 11th, and then follow our Muskegon St. Patrick's Day Parade Facebook page. And then if you have any questions, I'm just going to say ask Kat. Kat Hyder, so.
Hi friends, lots of fun, exciting things happening in Youth Exchange, and I promise the next announcements will be done by a committee member and not me. But who remembers the really fun country reveal we had just a couple weeks ago? Yeah, all right, there's some claps, I like that. So coincidentally enough, as our students here were figuring out what countries they were going to, students all across the world were figuring out that, oh, they're going to America, which means they're coming here. And yesterday I got a really exciting, our first placement for the next school year for a boy from Germany who's going to be coming, and we're still waiting our next 2 placements. So why am I telling you all of this? We have an amazing opportunity to get involved as Rotarians to make a huge impact on the lives of these students. And I'm going to ask for those, whether it was decades ago, last year, or it might not even been our program, but if you've ever hosted an exchange student, could you please stand up? Yeah, give all these people a round of applause. So any of those individuals that stood up today, please ask them about their experience and what it meant to them. But as we get these notifications of saying, hey, you have a student coming, we do need to find them with a host family and get them enrolled in school and things for their visa process. So we are looking for host families. If you want to talk to me about it, I'm not going to say that a conversation meant that, yes, you're doing it. I promise not to do that to you, but I would love to talk to you about it more.
And Tim.
Good afternoon. I say good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. I'm Tim Lightpan. Today I'm representing our social committee, and it's time to party again. So pull out your calendars and your smartphones and get these dates on your calendar right now. So we are going to be visiting Kids Food Basket's new facility with tours, and we're going to party a little bit as well. It's going to be Wednesday, March 25, 5:30 to 7:30, or 7. I guess we're still unsure about that. What do you get? You'll get light appetizers, adult beverages, water, soft drinks. We're going to get a tour of the facility and an opportunity to help them out by decorating food bags that'll go to the kids. It's going to be a great opportunity for socializing and networking with all the time in the world to do that outside of the meeting. The cost will be free, and we would love it if you would sign up. We're going to get a sign-up genius going soon. It'll be in the RIM for more details. We have a Facebook page as well. But mark your calendars for that. We'd love to see you. Thanks, Dave.
As it relates to Kids Food Basket, Jonathan and Kelly and I have been working on getting set up some permanent volunteer opportunities for food insecurity, both at Kids Food Basket and at the Muskegon Rescue Mission. And if there's anyone that wants to sort of, and this event may spur you to do this, be our liaison and champion for some opportunities that we're exploring to do a permanent rotating volunteer time at Kids Food Basket, please get a hold of me, or you'll get to see the Kids Food Basket folks on the 25th. Raffle, Josh. $630, we got one. $5. 667. Oh, don't go there. 667. Pull another one. 640. It's for $5, folks. Come on, let's get it away. Let's give it away. 663. Go ahead. Let's find another one. I've got it. Is it fair to all concerned? I'll let you, just leave it there. That 5's going somewhere else. We'll figure out where it's going to go. Thank you. Our program next week will be District Governor Mark Andreski. He'll be driving down to visit us from Charlevoix. We are back at the Delta next week. Back at the Delta. Where are we meeting next week? Let's give Mark a true Muskegon Rotary Club experience. So let's just be ourselves and enjoy his company. After the bell, I'll play Jackson Brown's Loadout Stay as we mingle and create the magic of Rotary. It's in honor of our production team, Mike, Kim, Jay, Dennis, and the staff here at the Lake House. They all make our weekly gatherings so meaningful. So members and guests, please rise as we recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Let's unite for good. We are adjourned.